Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. So, we're going to talk about a few things right quick with the quickness. I hope you're all well. I hope that you've had a lovely few days. Sorry, I know that's a little loud. I hope that, like whether you're celebrating or not, that you had a good time, that you got to see your loved ones no matter, what the circumstance. What is, what is happening there? Okay. So I wanted to talk about this Dylan the lady thing and Chris from Mr. Beast because oh my goodness, have they caused a stir? And I think I'm in a I am gonna look at this differently than most people will. I think I have a difference of opinion about it, and I think that it actually may surprise some of you. So if you are ready for all that, thank you for joining me. What is up, turds, nerds, freaks, and geeks, and all that's in between? It's me, your girl, Daisy Dame. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. So I want to talk about this, whole Dylan Mulvaney thing, because I guess they're an actor, and that's interesting. It's interesting, and it's also interesting to me. Hi, thank you for being here. I have just a bit before I gotta run and go to class, so I wanted to talk about this right quick with you guys. I so appreciate you being here. But I've seen this Dylan Mulvaney everywhere, okay? And I don't know, like I said, too much about this whole ordeal. I've just seen the advertisements as of recently and what is happening there. So I guess they were doing a Bud Light. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think it's Bud Light that it was. Like some type of Bud Light commercial. And yeah, that's how a lot of this got started. So, by the way, you can check me out on TikTok at modmaggieart as well as Twitter and Snap. DameVonBonDaisyart on Insta as well as DameVonBonDaisy. This is a new painting I'm working on. It's really cool. And give thanks when able. I'm also on Rumble now, Dame Bonbon Daisy. So if you're on Rumble, check me out there. I'm gonna go to Kick as well because I think it's funny and I'm with that. I like more platforms, the better. So yeah, you should be able to find me on Kick very soon. But I'm definitely on Rumble already. I haven't put any content out yet, but I will. And so I'm there as well. Like I said, I've been trying to start the streams with one kind thing about myself. So one kind thing about myself is I love that I love my son so very much. And speaking of which, one second. How much I love my son. Speaking of which, it is still Easter right before the King, so he's very much loving on that. He's so happy. So yeah, and if you want to join in on that, I would encourage you to do so in the comments down below. Say one kind thing about yourself in the start of this stream, okay? If you don't want to, that's fine. Some people are still getting comfortable with themselves. I get that, okay? Do hit the like. It's free, and it would mean a lot to me. But genuinely, I know. I get it. Here we go. It's about to be a touchy subject, a serious subject, and who better to talk about it all with than me? Than me, you know? Why not? So do know that I'm very understanding towards people and their way of life and how they want to live, okay? I'm like very understanding. I understand that this puts people in a lot of weird places. Like this puts grandparents in an awkward position. This puts parents in a weird position. And it's not saying that, oh, it's XYZ's fault for this awkward position, but it's there, it exists, right? And for those who don't know, I did go to school for therapy that includes psych and social. And yeah, I just have a really curiosity into these things, right? I have a very big interest into these things. I think it's funny that this person was chosen for beer ads because we know that those are normally like a masculine thing. Men drink beer, just like what people would correlate it with. And if you don't see a beer commercial of just men being burly men, you're going to see it on the beach with a party and beautiful women and bikinis and all of this. You're not going to see Dylan Mulvaney going, hi, and like grabbing his drink and going up. Like, you're not going to see this, okay? And I'm not trying to be offensive again when I say him. It's just that that's when I started researching. This is who I found Dylan Mulvaney as, and I see the character, and it feels as though it might be a character that they're portraying. And that's why I say God bless Dylan Mulvaney for doing what some men can't. And that's showing us what we don't need in this life, what is wrong, right? And I do see that there's this push, right, in media, in movies, in music videos for a certain way of life. And again, to each their own, as long as you're not harming anybody, c'est la vie, right? To each their own. If you are a male and you wanna wear women's clothing and you wanna portray this character, Dylan Mulvaney, I genuinely feel like that's how they're going about this. And bless their heart, bless the heart of anyone willing to take advantage and play the game. That's what they're doing. Dylan and Chris from Mr. Beast, they're playing the game. Like they just played the game of life. They're like, you know what? It's the hottest thing right now. It's gonna get me the most attention. Da 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 da. Oh my goodness! And I really truly believe that outrage media is key right now. Like that is what people know is the most effective. Okay, whether it's Disney coming out with a very inappropriate scene that no we could see coming in the longest of times, and oh my goodness, how could Disney go there? Disney had to go there because nobody's watching Disney no more, right? Disney had to go there. They had to go there. And just like maybe this beer was like, listen, we don't care. We're willing to take the hit. We're willing to take the punch in the gut because in the long run, this outrage will pay off for them in one way or another, right? How weird. How weird. Because we're more likely to share something that's controversial or that's what one might call triggering, right? Right? I just think it's funny. That's the kind of stuff people share. They're like, you want to see this triggering content? Boom. And people are like, why? You would think that that's like not the thing to do. But, hi, thank you for joining me. Ooh, sorry, I just wanted to lower you down there a little bit. I didn't want to like cause you to fall or anything, but jeez. Just trying to get on your level, okay? Sorry. I should have warned you about the close-up of my face. I know that's alarming. Let's go on. Okay. So, I think that's what this is. It's a part of outrage culture. It's a fad. It's whatever, right? But here's the thing. For some people, it's not a fad. For some of these people, they're young, they're impressionable, they're hormonal, they're confused. They don't know what to think. They don't know, right? And sometimes they might think one thing is one thing, but it's not, and they're indeed not, right? And here's the problem where not just I have conflicts like with this, or like where it makes it weird or awkward for the family. It's like I love all of my nieces and nephews so very much. So much. I'm so blessed to have all 11 of those little minions, okay? Love it. Blessed. Big Irish family, okay? And I would never want to hurt them, ever. I would never, ever want to say anything that would hurt them or upset them or send them spiraling or whatever it may be, right? But there are moments where it's like, oh gosh, like, I don't think they understand fully what this means or, certain things. I just care about my family, right? And so it's tough in certain circumstances where you're trying to be supportive, but you also have to be a proper role model and be honest about how you view this and how you feel about it, because not many people will be. A lot of people they feel as though maybe their hands are forced, that they have to just submit in a sense to believing whatever this person believes, right? That they have to just accommodate said person but this isn't true, and we should know that, right? Just because someone may have a delusion of some sort, it doesn't mean we have to play into said delusion. And I'm not saying that for all people it is a delusion, because some people are born a certain way that, you know, parts may be mixed up, who knows, right? And I'm speaking medically, yes, I'm one of those people that are like trans medicalists, where it's like, yes, they exist, they've always existed, but not in the way that it's perceived now. I think right now it's a very colloquial term, it's a very blanket statement, and I think anything could be considered trans at this moment. It just honesty, just how I view it. And again, I would never want to upset anybody. I do say this with like the best intentions. Yeah, I know, right? That's the thing though, is they're doing us a favor right now. Like Dylan and others, they're doing us a favor because the pendulum doth swing, right? And if we're swinging hard one way, it's about to swing right back. So it's just curious. It's really curious. And oh my goodness, I just find it all very interesting. I think that they could be playing a character. I think it could be outrage culture. I think that that's what they could be utilizing. And again, it's like some of these men who can't make it in male sports, so they all of a sudden are women and they compete in women's sports, and they're the biggest thing since sliced bread. It's not fair. I'm totally with um, the the woman who spoke out and who was unfortunately like kept in a room. Like, this is terrible. This is terrible. Just for speaking and saying, listen, women biologically are born with less muscle. It is what it is, whether we like that or not. It's biology, it's science, baby. But that doesn't matter no more. We just toss that out the window because science, right? But whether they want to admit that or not, that is a fact of life. That men's bodies are more muscular. They hold muscle. They build quicker. You get thicker faster. It is what it is. Women, it might seem as though it takes us a bit more, right? And we definitely don't hold the muscle like some men can do. So when all these people are going to compete in women's sports, it does seem, in my opinion, to be an unfair advantage to those who have worked so hard to get to this moment, for those who have given up everything, who have fought tooth and nail, and then they get put in this awkward position. And they also shared a changing room. They shared a changing room. And that's where it's like, okay, now that's just, would you do that if it was the opposite way? Would you do this? No, they would never do this. But if it's men in a women's locker room, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. The women feel uncomfortable. It's weird. It's a little weird for them. And maybe the bathroom is fine. And again, to each their own. I have no problem with anybody living how they want to live. That's fine, right? I just think it is all a very curious thing. I think that, yeah, maybe he's doing what real men couldn't. And it's showing us that what we really don't need. It's showing us that outrage media really does work. Because as Cinema Shogun said, I don't see anybody promoting Dylan's work unless it's to comment some, type of statement of this is wild, or, reactionary statement. And here's the thing. Like I said, I'm very understanding. I get it. The teenage process and being a child, it's really hard. And I can't even imagine how it is for kids now. It's a very sensitive time. It's an emotional time. 1 minute you think one way, and the next moment you think another way. And so it's very, 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 very important that children don't make grown decisions at that age. It's so important because children are not capable of making grown decisions at that age. And God forbid we acknowledge that. God forbid we let children be children. God forbid. Oh, Lord. And I'm just saying, God forbid. I think that we should let our children embrace being a child and allow them to be a child as long as humanly possible, right? Until they get to the age where you need to start discussing things, and that should be done with their parents. Like, I don't feel like it's anybody else's place. I do understand that some parents are just not going to do it. They just don't have the cojones to have those talks that you need to have if you're going to freaking have a kid. You got to be willing to have certain talks, right? It is what it is. So I get it. Certain parents not going to have that talk. But still, I feel like it should be, those are things that need to be talked about at home in the safety and comfort of your home, because you never know what's happening at the schools, like, and what they're saying behind closed doors. You just don't know. And some teachers have been shown recently to care more about wanting the children to know about their preference more than school. And it's like, huh? First of all, it's weird that everybody wants to fixate on those kind of things, to me, so much. It really is. To me, it just wigs me out. It's like, why are we so focused on someone's business? Like, their business, right? It's their business. How they want to present, like, go off, right? Go off. But I just find it's really, really curious. And he was, like, they were also on The Price is Right, whatever. So, like certain other creators or influencers or characters, they're doing whatever they can to get attention, to get the spotlight, to get seen, to get heard, to get known, to get acknowledged, to get awareness on them, right? And they're going the distance. They're going with speed. They're running straight for it, you know? And they're, again, bless the ones who are willing to do what it takes to play the game. Because, listen, whether we like it or not, it is a thing that's happening. And whether we like it or not, statistics show that we have more people detransitioning than ever in existence, right? Doesn't mean I'm against it, okay? I love all my friends, no matter how they choose to live their lives. I really do, genuinely. It's not, it's not to me to know, right? Like, I don't want to know. It's not for me to judge. And it just really does. Like, I'm one of those people that are like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable with this. So, yeah, and we see it with this spirit ad with feminine products. Dylan Mulvaney on a feminine products ad, and that's exactly what it is. They want that outrage. They know that if they put them on a beer ad, they know if they put them on a feminine products ad, yeah, people are going to say something. People are going to share it. People are going to be like, oh my gosh. And nowhere else do you see people like repping this person, shouting them out, saying they're so great. No, I do believe that there has been a push, a slow and subtle push over the last decade or so. And I would go back a decade because I can remember, listen, I worked at Blockbuster. Those of you who have been here for the longest time, you know. Okay, I'm very proud of that. I could have worked there till I passed away. I really could have. I love that job. I loved movies. I loved video games. I was all for it until I realized, oh my gosh, they're hiding all this stuff in the movies and in the video games. And I was like, well, this makes me uncomfortable. But what I did realize is that certain things did escalate rather quickly. It was like, oh, they're talking about who their crush is and they might hold hands and you're like, oh, that's so risque. Ooh. And then next thing you know, it's full on booty cheeks and the whole thing is just G-rated. Huh? What? Huh? What? Since when? Why? No, please. Believe it or not, like, not everybody wants to turn on their TV and see booty cheeks or open their Instagram and see booty cheeks. Like, I know. Hard to believe, right? Hard to believe. But and it really is, like, I'm sure, so embarrassing to just open up your Instagram, like, in public, and all of a sudden there's a woman in her bikini and it barely covers it. It's like Kim Kardashian in an American Horror Story, which, God, why did that happen? Why are they allowing that? Why did they let Trisha Paytas be in it? I've got problems with this. I used to really like American Horror Story as well. It's just like Black Mirror. It's so telling. Dylan Mulvaney is so telling, right? These are signs of the times, baby. And I'm acknowledging that, right? And while still respecting all my loved ones and understanding that not everybody is going to see the world the way I do, and that's okay. We're all going to have differences of opinions, and everyone is loved and supported here as long as you're not an a-hole. Okay, okay. You know? So I do understand that not only is it a sensitive spot for our youth, our younger ones, there's like three different types, okay? There's the real thing, right? And that's my transmedical side. And then there's a fad, which, by the way, could be for many of them. And then there's the it's here for a season, okay? And real thing, this happens, has existed for the longest time. And then there's the fad, like when we were younger and in high school, and everybody was like, that girl's bi, that girl's bi, that girl's bi, that girl's bi, right? In certain instances, it do be a fad though, right? It just is what it is. It's okay to acknowledge it. It's okay to admit it. And you probably saw that in your high school too. Certain things, little promiscuous, started to happen, and you're like, wow, what? That's weird. Genuinely, when I was a child, I didn't even know. I was like, what does that even mean? What? Like, I didn't even know that existed. I knew that, gay couples existed, no problem. But I didn't know that there was all this in between, right? I really didn't. What do you guys think about this whole thing? I do got to get going in a minute, though, because I do have class today, and I want to make sure that I am there, bright and early. Let me double check if there's anything I wanted to say about this. Oh yeah, I'm on Rumble for those of you who missed it, and I'm also gonna go on Kick. There's nothing wrong with being on all these platforms. I'm just gonna do my best to be as visible as possible because this community deserves so much, and I really do believe we deserve to grow. Also, I want to talk about Chris from Mr. Beast real quick. Listen, I think this man is maybe he's struggling, maybe he's confused, maybe he's not. Again, I think there's three different ways. It's either the real thing, it's a fad, or it's here for a season, baby. And to each their own. If that's how you're living, that's how you're living. I'm not living that way. That's fine, right? I know that I don't have to say it, but women since birth, and I'm content with that. I'm happy with that. I'm proud to be women. Okay. But Chris, apparently, they had a family, they had a child, they had a wife, and maybe it is society, right? Maybe it is societal standards that a man thinks they must grow to marry and pop out baby. Maybe that's a societal thing. And then they thought, well, screw society. I shall do as I please. And they thought, let me just do this. And they do have an insanely big audience. All the youth is watching Mr. Beast and his friend Chris, who is, by the way, like his bestie. And genuinely, to be very frank, I don't know how Mr. Beast feels. There's all these compilations saying Mr. Beast is upset about this. Mr. Beast is sad about this. I don't know how he feels. I'm not in Mr. Beast's heart, right? But let me tell you what I do see. I do see someone who loved their friend endlessly, no matter what, that they would be there for them, no matter what. That if their friend said choose and said that this is how I'm feeling, this is how I'm living, then Mr. B shall be like, oh, okay, dude, like I'm here for you. Oh, okay, gal, like whatever. I think that Mr. Beast is like technically, I feel as though he's like riding with it, right? He's not against it. He's not against it because he can't be, because he's not, like, for one, I really don't think that. But because he would shut out some of his audience, a lot of his audience is youth. They're all cool with and comfortable with people's fluidity these days. C'est la vie, okay? The youth, they will eventually grow. Eventually, hopefully, Lord help them. But they will grow and they will mature and they will see, for me, this was fad. For me, this was confusion. For me, this was no thank you, never was, never will be, never. No. Right? Some people, believe it or not, are still straight. I said it. I said it. I said it. Some people are still straight. And we should be proud of that too. Okay, we should be able to be proud of that too. But honestly, to me, I don't want to know all about people's, stuff in their private time and like what they prefer and stuff. Like, do you, boo boo? But I don't know why you have to involve the world in those conversations. That's my view on it. I'm allowed to have my take on it. What's your take on it? You're allowed to have your take on it. This is not an echo chamber. I will not tell you what to think. And thank you so, so much for coming to your very own deprogramming session. I really do got to roll out. I got class. I got to go. And I'm super excited. I get to see my protege. It's been a minute. Please take care of yourselves. Enjoy the weather if it's nice out for you. And do let me know. What do you think? Is this a character? Is Dylan really feeling this? And do you think that it is like making light of what a woman truly is? Because they're like, day 400, whatever, of being whamming. I cried and ate donuts and cried and had chocolate. Am I real? Yeah, I'm real. I joke that I'm an android, but who knows? I really want, like, you know what? Let's not go there right now. I'll save it for later. I'm going to stream later. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. I can keep a secret, and I won't. Give thanks when able. I'll see you soon. And listen, be you, okay? But don't feel forced to be anything but.